Welcome to what I consider to be a very unique tracking spreadsheet. Clearly it's from Excel, but it's not just any Excel spreadsheet. It's an automated spreadsheet. And please listen, whatever you do, do not copy and paste within this program. You can copy and paste onto a new spreadsheet, but do not copy and paste within this program. It has formulas that can easily be corrupted, although they're protected. There are times when they can still be corrupted. So it is definitely advised that you do not copy and paste within this spreadsheet. That being said, what you're about to hear is a brief overview of how the spreadsheet works and how the multiple pages can help you perform your onboarding and interview tasks most efficiently. For instance, what you see above are buttons. These are automated buttons that are designed to allow you to actually transfer data from one spreadsheet within the workbook to another by simply clicking the button. However, what you want to do first is to focus on what this is in front of you. It is the onboarding spreadsheet. Now, most of you may actually put more emphasis on this particular page, while others may put more emphasis on the actual interview page. Please don't be concerned. The information that's listed here is all created just for the spreadsheet. These people, to my knowledge, do not exist. I created them myself just as an example to run through this orientation. Now, the buttons again are all automated buttons, and they are designed to allow you to zip through different functions quite easily. For instance, first thing you would do on the onboarding spreadsheet obviously is you can come up here and quickly change the date that the onboarding or orientation is scheduled. Input that information here, it will change here, and simply click away. The record and track buttons actually work hand in hand. So let's go with the tracking button first. This is in archives. The information that is presented on the onboarding spreadsheet will be transferred over to the archives where it will be stored indefinitely. As you can see, the same information that's listed on the onboarding spreadsheet is listed here, and you're going to basically click on that person's name and record it. I'm going to give you an example in a few seconds. This is the minimize button. It allows you to minimize the sheet to 8 by 11 from an 8 by 14, which is the actual size of the spreadsheet. The dashboard. Dashboard is used to actually collect all the data year to date as it's being formulated or tallied each week. As you can see, there's a pie chart, and the information is also listed up here. The interviews, the approved, the disapproved, turned down, the hired, and the total number of applicants that you've dealt with year to date. The highlight button can be used if you decide you want to highlight a person's name and the information related to that person by simply clicking highlight. When it's time to remove the highlight, click on that person's name and come over here to the button that has actually nothing written on it and click on it, and it will erase the highlight. The copy to labels and the file labels 1 tab goes hand in hand. For instance, you would always go to the file labels tab first. Make sure that the name or the area position is where you want the label to be printed. This is a standard Avery format. It looks kind of weird because you don't see the lines, but the information will transfer in the appropriate area as long as you know where that is based on the previous names that were listed on the sheet. The sort button will sort all the information and categorize it based on the number of people that were confirmed, the number of people that were approved, unapproved, the department, the supervisor's name, the shifts, and the participant's name themselves. Very useful tool. Basically, if you do not want every sheet to print, you only want those to print that are categorized by approved only. You come here and you go to the delete button and you delete all other rows, which only leaves the information that you want to print on the 8x11 or 8x14 page. The change button. Now this will be the first button that you will need to address when you get this spreadsheet. Why? Because the information that you're going to need for the drop-down box, which is very important information, will need to be input here. Again, this is all fictitious names created by myself simply for the reason of creating this tutorial. Do not be alarmed that I am compromising anyone's privacy. Okay. Again, you'll input the positions by departments, the pay rates by departments, and the supervisors/managers' names by departments. This information should not be changed. It'll already be uploaded when you receive this spreadsheet. The comment section. The comment section, when you click it, you have additional columns that will appear. For instance, we have the comment column and the referred by columns. Here, if you want to put a few comments about the person that you've hired or chose not to hire, you can. If you want to put, or if this applies, there's a person that referred them, clearly you can track that information by inputting that person's name here as well. And then click the back button, and this will be the main spreadsheet as it was before. The print button basically prints the 8x14 as you see it here. If you would like to print the 8x11, you will simply minimize, hit print once, and then go to the regular icon and print as many pages as you need, and it will all come out as an 8x11 as opposed to an 8x14. Remember, you do want to hit this print button first, and then hit the other regular install printer to print 8x11. File labels, again, we went through that earlier. The interview page, I'm going to go to that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the turndown page. The turndown page is also going to be associated with the interview page, not just the orientation page. You can get to it from the onboarding and orientation page. However, you're going to most likely go to it from the interview page, which is here. Now, let's discuss the interview page. That's this interview button. So here we're going to go ahead and start the tutorial. I've already listed a few little dots. I'll input some data here for you to go by or be guided by as I go through this tutorial. Clearly, you have the day, the date, the time, the interviewer, the applicant, the department, the shift, and the phone number. Now, what I've done here is made it somewhat easy. Instead of going through here and inputting, if you know that you're going to have 8 interviews on Monday, instead of typing Monday in the date in the names, especially if the same person is going to interview all 8 or 9 people, you can simply go here and click the duplicate button, and that same information will appear however many times you need it to. You can also do the same thing for time, and simply just change, the time as needed without, having to type everything in. And you can do the same thing here, and so on and so on. All right. That being said, that makes it a little bit easier when you're inputting data. Now, let's say you've already interviewed 3 people. Well, let's just say you've interviewed 4 people. You interviewed 3 on Saturday, 1 on Monday, and one of the people on Saturdays didn't show up. You have a drop-down box now, and you can go scroll down to where it says no show, and click right here when you click on the person's name, and you have it highlighted in red. Remember, you're going to click on the person's name after you click no show on the drop-down button, and then you're going to click no show button, and the entire row will turn red. Do not touch any other column other than the person's name. Now, these people, James Doe, John Smith, and Sandra Hart, were all people that we are deciding to take to the next level. And this is what we're going to do in that particular case. We're going to click on the person's name. Then we're going to basically go back to the orientation page just to make sure that we've highlighted the correct row that we would like for them to be presented. Basically, because the spreadsheet has not been used as of today, we're going to start with obviously row 1. You're going to return back to the interview page and you're going to click on copy to orientation. You'll now notice that that person's name is turned green and the next name is highlighted. We're going to do the same thing because that person is now moving to the next level. And you'll notice now that that person's name is turned green. So I'll tell you what, let's stop right there with just those two people because I'm going to use a different example for Sandra Hart. Now that we've transferred these two people over by clicking on their names, we're going to go back to the orientation page and we're going to confirm the shift as the second shift for both. Clearly, if they were first shifters, we would confirm the first or third shift. The shift will be also listed in the department and position. The phone number is there as well. Nothing else at this point is needed. The pay rate automatically updated for the department and as well as the manager's names. So now let's go back to the interview page. Sandra Hart is someone we decided that we were going to turn down. So we're going to now click on her name, go to the turn down page, make sure that we have the appropriate box highlighted for her name to appear, and we're going to go back to the interview page and click copy to turn down. Now, what I forgot to do was actually drop down to send to turn down. So I'm going to do that now. And you'll notice that you have a brown highlighted send to turn down. That doesn't matter when you do this portion though, however, because there's no box that says send to turn down. But you do want it to be highlighted just for your own record that this person is going to receive a turn down letter. Now you'll notice that when you go to turn down, the person's name is there and their phone number, which is really not needed, but there's no address. So the reason there's no address is because clearly when we're interviewing, that would be additional work that's not needed for every person that we're hiring or interviewing. So you only want to put it in when you're going to send that person a turn down letter. So that's why you would have to literally write that information in once you move that person over to this particular page. I'm going to now interview, and you notice we're putting the last name first. I'm going to say Taylor. John. Alright, so John Taylor is the person that I'm going to interview. And I'm going to put John Taylor in bulk. So John Taylor is now assigned to the first shift bulk. I'm going to confirm it here. And I'm going to just, put his phone number here. It's good, in my opinion, to put their phone number here because you may need to call them. And I think I just put too many phone numbers in there, so let me take a 0 out. And rather than going through the applications, you have their phone number right in front of you all the time. So John Taylor, again, is someone that has been approved. So I'm going to now take John Taylor and I'm going to move John Taylor over to the onboarding page. Again, I'm going to go over to the next open cell, go back to the interview page and click on John Taylor's name, copy to orientation. His name turns green. I go back, confirm the first shift, and that is all there is to it. Now, the next step, once you have these people on the pending onboarding for orientation, you come to the background and you click pending in drop-down box. Okay, and that is where things stand now. As their backgrounds return, you can go to approved, approved, and unfortunately, John Taylor was not approved, and therefore he's going to be red. All right. What I normally do, and you don't have to, is I normally highlight that person's name, but you don't have to. So I'm going to just, for the sake of time, go ahead and remove that. So we have 3 people scheduled for orientation. Clearly, we have far more than that, but just for time reasons, we're just going to stick with the 3. They've all now shown up, and we are going to assign them an employee ID number. Well, just 2, because John was not approved. Now that we have 2 people that have been approved, we're going to go ahead and we've had orientation, and orientation was on the 13th of November. But instead of going all the way down, you can literally click on date of hire, and then the date of hire from the most recent block cell that was updated will copy and paste to the next cell. All right. So at this point, they've been confirmed. They came in for orientation, and they've been hired. So what are we going to do next? We're going to now log them into the archives, which is the tracking sheet. Here's the tracking sheet. As it stands, it's empty, but we're going to go ahead and record those 2 names onto the tracking sheet. We're going to click on the first person's name who was approved. Please make sure that it's ready to be transferred, and we're going to hit record. And you'll notice that the tracking sheet appears with that person's name. I'm going to take an extra step for John Smith. I'm going to go over here and say John Smith was referred by David Ramsey, or let's just say Robinson. Alright, so and we're going to move back. Now when I transfer John Smith over, you'll notice that David Robinson's name also transferred over. So we can always now track who's referred in the tracking sheet as well. We're going to return back to orientation, and this is where things stand as of now. So the week has ended, and we are now ready to reset this page for a new week. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to hit reset. Now, when we hit reset, this is going to disappear. But before we do that, we're going to add a few more names onto this page. So let's go back to the interview page. And I'm going to just add a few more names. I'm going to say just another Smith, just for time's sake. I'm going to say Lloyd Smith. I'm going to say, I'm just putting anything in there right now. Second shift, phone number, and I'm going to say love Robert Love. I'm going to put Robert Love. I'm just going to scroll down and put him in shipping, first shift. Again, I'm sorry, my computer is really sensitive. Not the most high quality computer. Okay, and so I'm going to also now transfer these people over to orientation because they made it to the next level. Again, I'm going to just double check to make sure that I'm on the right empty cell. And I'm going to now copy to orientation both. Again, they turn green as expected. I'm going to confirm their shifts. And they have not been confirmed for orientation for this week just yet. And they are also pending. All right, so they don't have a hire date. This is the pay rate that they will be receiving should they be approved. But for now, they're pending. So as it stands, we are going to now reset the spreadsheet with 2 people pending, 2 people approved, 1 disapproved. Now, everything is gone. So the question you may be asking, well, why did you remove the 2 people that were pending that are going to be on the sheet for next week? Well, they're not totally gone. This is the backup. This is a backup button. It has the letter B on it. And this is where they all went to. All right. This is going to be here for an entire week, just in case we need to refer back to it. But we also want to return Lloyd and Robert back to the original spreadsheet. We don't need to return anyone else. This person was disapproved. These 2 were already put into the archives, so they're good. However, we do want to return Lloyd and we want to return Robert back to the orientation spreadsheet in hope that they get approved. So again, this is where we start. Just kind of make sure that you're in the right place, which is going to always return back starting here anyway. So, that's not a big deal. And you're going to come here and you're going to say copy to orientation. And when you return, they're back. And this is how you reset the spreadsheet. All right. We're going to end for now, and I'm going to go into more detail at a later date, which will explain all the other buttons in more detail. Thank you.